Hi, I'm Kristie Clayton, founder and visionary of HERverse. HER is an acronym for Helping Executives Rise. Welcome to ConvHERsations with Kristie, where we dive into real, raw, and inspiring conversations with incredible leaders. You see, at HERverse, we're not just a community, we're a movement, a space where women leaders rise together, support one another, and celebrate our collective success. Whether you're leading as a second in command, steering the vision as the visionary or founder, or driving impact with your company as a leadership team member, HERverse was designed for you. Our mission is to provide resources, coaching, and peer support that you need to grow confidently in your leadership journey. Through memberships like Female Executive Mastermind and the Lead Her community, along with events like workshops and summits, and even personalized coaching, we are here to help women embrace their strengths, overcome challenges, and truly thrive. And that's what ConvHERsations with Kristie is about too. It's a space to share the golden nuggets of wisdom that come from authentic, heartfelt, real conversations. There's no scripts, there's no fluff, just honest insights from leaders who are leading boldly and making an impact. See, I believe leadership isn't something you do alone. It's a journey we navigate, and we don't have to do that alone. We can do it together, because together we rise. Now, let's get started with today's conversation. I am confident you are going to love it.
Hey there, Kristie.
Hi, Nicole.
What a fun. Oh, I'm so excited. I get to flip the mic today and interview the Kristie Clayton. And I'm excited to put really the beautiful brain behind HERverse and ConvHERsations on the hot seat herself. So, and you, without any type of prep, these questions are going to be brand new. I'm so excited.
I'm excited. Butterflies.
So, I know you mentioned the reason for these in the ConvHERsations in the intro, but you are the queen of doing things just a little or a lot of it different. And so tell me, this is really unlike traditional podcasts or live interview series. What made you say ConvHERsations? Let's do this differently.
Oh, that's such a great question. Nicole, I don't know about you, but one thing for me is I just kind of felt like I was getting there's so many podcasts and I was getting a little podcasted out, right? And so when we were thinking about this, like, what do we do? I have amazing conversations with people all the time and I love them. Everyone was saying, oh my gosh, we should do a podcast. And I was like, nah, podcast or, like everybody has a book and everybody has a podcast now. So how can we do something that's different? And, we were just thinking like, wait a minute, what if we just did LinkedIn Live and literally had conversations? Because one of the things that surfaced over the last several years is, wow, Kristie, like some of the fun with you is that we when we're just in conversation, there's like these golden nuggets that come out. And gosh, I wish people were sitting in and listening to that so that they could gain from what we're talking about. So that's where it started. It was like, how do we do something that's non-traditional podcast and people can sit in and listen to a conversation with these golden nuggets of things that come out? I'm always blessed that I feel like every time I walk away from a conversation, I have like a page worth of notes where it's like, this person was so valuable to me. So that's how it got started.
Oh, I often refer to you as the queen of connections. You're in a room and you need to talk to this person and you bring them together, right? And I see with the podcast, I see this happening too. So other ways that I have seen just really great connection. Obviously, you've created HERverse, right? And that's something you can write home to mom about, right? It's the queen of connections in so many different ways for members to connect. Selfishly, I am most excited about the Lead Her conference or summit in November. What is that? November 3rd and 4th?
4th and 5th.
4th and 5th. All right. So I want you to transport yourself into the future. And it is 12:05 after the closing keynote has just wrapped up at the Lead Her Summit. And what do you want to overhear attendees saying to their people at their table and as they're getting up to leave?
What a beautiful picture to paint. So first, if you don't mind, if you are unaware of what Lead Her Summit is it is a space for women that are part of the Lead Her community to come together. So we've traditionally done Femme Summit. Nicole, can you believe this is going to be our 8th summit that we're doing this year? So super excited. But this is our first one for the Lead Her community. So the group of women that sit on the leadership team, whether they're in sales or marketing, operations, HR, finance, like whatever seat that they hold, that they now have a space to come together. And I'll tell you, for me, like, I know the women that are going to be speaking, right? Nicole, you're one of them. I'm super excited. Kristen Drennan, Katie Sandquist, Kim Boudreaux-Smith, and then Zach Aaron and myself are the opening and closing keynotes. And I think for me, to answer your question, Nicole, it's 12:05 and the women have just walked away from this powerful day and a half of being together. Wow. First of all, just saying that out loud, like,
I got goosebumps.
Whoa. I think there's 2 major things that kind of occur for me, and it's a reflection of what has been said at Femme Summits, that I'm walking away a different person than the one that came, right? That these women were so open, body, mind, and soul, that they were just so open to receiving, things that they can take back to their company, they can take back to their team, but that they can also apply to themselves, right? And just truly like learn and grow as a leader, but also as an individual. Like, I'm walking away from here being my most, whatever that means for that particular person. Mm-hmm. And then I think the other thing, it really truly does come down to, I have to come back every year because this made such a difference in my life.
I mean, as one who was at the first, Femme Summit back in Nashville, I have to admit, every single year I have that same feeling. I come in a person and I leave a different person. So I love that.
Well, thank you for that. And you were one of the brave souls that followed me into the woods.
I'd do it again. I'd follow you into the woods again any day. You are, I mean, there's over the last year, HERverse has really changed and evolved. And I know originally you at your heart, you were that second in command, right? The integrator. And I know there's been a lot of not shifts, but really expanding the influence. And so you're really opening it up just outside of just the second in command. So tell me more about that journey. And one thing that has been a little bit scary in opening up that influence of sphere. And then one thing that has been surprising.
Oh, I love that. So yeah, I mean, it all started, with my need of, being connected to other integrators. And it was really interesting over the last several years, maybe the last 2 or 3 years, is we were really thinking about like the expansion and, how do we connect with even more women? And so when it came down to it, I'll never forget Renee Russo, who was our implementer, and Melissa Bushman, who was the integrator at the time, coming to me and saying, Kristie, we need the full picture. Like, we need to see, like, what does the future of this organization look like? Like, we challenge you to go off and do that. And by the way, if you're visionary and that is your role, the most amazing thing that happened to me is these 2 women saying, go do this. And I went and spent a weekend locked in a hotel room, ate my favorite room service food, and treated myself. And I had all of these Post-it notes all over the walls. And I was like, what does it look like? What is everything like? How does it all come together? And what it really like, and I took all of my previous BTOs with me, by the way. And as I'm like laying it all out and I'm looking, the big aha moment for me, Nicole, was, oh my goodness. The only time we have integrator anywhere on past BTOs or all the things on the wall was in the name of the organization, Female Integrator Mastermind. And that's where I went, I think this is the integrators have laid a beautiful foundation, right? And they were a great starting point. I think it's bigger. I think it's more women. It's more, contacts and connections. And so we decided at that point, or my heart finally confirmed for me at that point that it was more than just integrators. And so we opened up we did a name change to Female Executive Mastermind, and we opened that up to all women who sit in that second in command role. So whether it's integrator or chief operating officer, president, we've seen orchestrator and all of these other titles. If you are working with that visionary, right, and you're responsible for executing the vision, leading the leadership team, and running the day-to-day, that's the role that we're looking at. So when we say second in command, that is not title, that is the role that you have. And then as I was just sitting back and looking at it more and more, it was like, that is beautiful. That is fantastic. That's going to allow expansion and reach to even more women. But wait a minute. I think there's even more women to get involved here. What I had seen is there were so many opportunities for visionaries to get involved in things, right? You think about EO, Vistage, YPO, WPO, strategic coach. I mean, like the list goes on and on and on and on for things for our visionaries to get involved in. But there's not as much for women. And so the women that I saw that were now hungry, the visionaries have a place, our integrators now have a place, but our leadership team are hungry too. They want to connect with their peers. And so we said, great, let's go down one level to the women who report to that integrator, COO, president, and let's support them too. And that's where the Lead Her community comes in, is that is now community for women who are sitting, whether they're running an entire department of 250 plus people, or if they are a solo department. If you are responsible for the department, you are welcomed into the Lead Her community.
I love that. And so this just came to me. I really never even thought of this before. I strongly believe a shared vocabulary and language on teams it makes a massive difference. And what you just said was so interesting, because I'm sure you've heard it's lonely on top, right? It's integrate. And we've actually, you talk about it too. Sometimes you feel like you're on an island. When you are working on yourself and growing and evolving as a leader, it is one thing and it's freeing and it's bigger. But when you can share that experience with other people on your leadership team, all of a sudden you start to create this wake, right? This momentum and this shared language and vocabulary around growth and evolving and really digging into some of the concepts. And so it feels less lonely for those integrators or second in commands. All of a sudden you're seeing other people elevate around you and it becomes much more of a community feel.
Agree. Because I mean, when you are, like, I've talked about this a few times, right? When you're in that integrator role and the visionary has they have trusted you with, like fulfilling their vision, right? Sometimes going back to them and saying, hey, like, I need help with these things can be a little scary, right? And it's like, it's actually like, it's my role. It's my responsibility to figure out these things. I don't really want to go back to that person. But then also it's oftentimes inappropriate to go down to the leadership team just yet, right? Like I need to cast vision to them. I need to be that strong force for them. And so I have questions that I can't go to visionary, like that's not the right space to go to, but I also can't go down. That's not the right space to go to. So who do I go to? Mm-hmm. Family and friends oftentimes don't understand the role that we have in the organization. We're the only integrator in the company. So who do we go to? And so creating a space for integrators to come together. First of all, you're right. I no longer feel alone, right? Yeah. Oh, Nicole is going through that with her organization too, or even sometimes like not only is like somebody going through it with me at the same time, but I also have a group of people that I can look to and say, oh, they have gone through it. They've overcome it. They can help me. Right. But Nicole, I have to tell you, I'll never forget when you first joined the leadership team. And one of the things that you said to me was, when you entered, you were pretty new in your integrator role. Mm-hmm. And you were like, I thought I was going to show up to this community and just absorb everything from them. I was going to listen. I was going to go to the workshops. I was going to do all the things, and I was going to receive. But the beauty and the gift for you was, even as a brand new integrator, you were also able to give.
Oh my gosh. Yes. When a woman who was running $100 million company looked at me and said, "Oh, can you send me your templates? That sounds incredible." And I'm like, yes, I can.
So this community isn't about just receiving, it's about giving and receiving, regardless of where you are on your journey, whether you're brand new or you've been in it for 15, 20 years, we all have that opportunity. Because even me, I mean, I've been in that second in command role with different titles for about 18, 20 years now. And even I walk away going, oh, there's a page worth of notes here.
I learned something.
Conversation, right? But then I also know on the other side, that person walked away with nuggets from me too. And it just feels amazing to be part of connecting with others that you can give and receive and have these beautiful conversations and connections that mean so much to both of you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That actually goes perfectly into my next question. You hold, like, that is such a great example of holding space for people, right? Like you hold space not only for you to learn something, but for people to give. So it's very reciprocal. You hold space for others. Who holds space for you? Who do you shout out that holds space for you?
I love that question. It's interesting because so one of the evolutions that has happened, or one of the expansions that has happened with HERverse, is we had a lot of women that were sitting in the integrator role who have transitioned over to the visionary role, right? Yeah. So whether they have moved into the visionary seat of the company that they were the integrator, or they have started their own business, they are now the visionary of that company, right? And several of those women came to me and said, they were literally, I'll never forget this moment. It was very, very emotional. Angie Dianetti, who's one of the most amazing people on the planet. Yes. She came to me at Summit, actually the second Nashville Summit. And she said, Kristie, I have to tell you that this will be my last summit. And she had tears in her eyes because she had transitioned over to the visionary role, and she wanted to empower her sister to have community and to let go of the HERfem membership so that her sister could step into that, right? Mm-hmm. But she's like, there's not a place for me here anymore because I'm not the integrator. And so I'm going to transition and I'm going to move this over to my sister. And I was like, oh, that's so amazing. Mm-hmm. But then she had an amazing opportunity that the Visionary Forum brought her to Omaha. And so she got that experience again. She was at Summit again. Walking away from that one, she did it again. She was like, I actually think this will be my very last summit because I don't know that I'm going to have another opportunity like this to come back. And after that one, after that conversation with her, I went to my integrator and I said, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with women feeling like because they've moved into a different role that they're no longer welcome at FEM, right? We have to create space for them. And so with Angie and a couple of other women that have also had this same transition, myself included, by the way.
I'm looking at one.
I'm looking at, I am one, right? I went from being the visionary in the integrator to now I'm sitting in that visionary seat and loving it, by the way. Although I will always be an integrator at heart, I had that same feeling too. In fact, I had a very emotional reaction, if you'll remember at one point, like actually taking on the visionary title. Will my own community even accept me, love me the way that they have before? Because I was one of them. And so what we did is I told Haley, I said, I'm not okay with women not feeling like they have space, right? We have to have space for them. And so we've created a mastermind specifically for women who were integrators and have now transitioned into the visionary seat. It's called the Alumni Alliance.
Oh, very cool.
Is actually the chair of our Alumni Alliance. And so we have space that we created specifically for these women. And I am so incredibly lucky and blessed that they allow me to be part of it. So I'm a member of this particular group.
Oh, that is so cool. You got integrators holding space for you. You got visionaries holding space for you. I love that. That's wonderful. Yeah. And honestly, it's just the power of peer groups. You had mentioned like when I first started, I remember waking up every day saying, everyone keeps calling me this integrator thing. I don't know if I'm doing it right. There's not coaches out there that understand the role. It wasn't something that there was a whole lot of resources for. And so finding that peer group, I mean, I'm still in a roundtable to this day. I find so much value every single month. We are exchanging ideas. We are exchanging templates and strategies, and we're challenging each other, and having people that sit in these seats that understand what you're going through is just so powerful. And now you have people that can feel you in your new seat, right? Your evolved seat.
Exactly. It's beautiful to have women who are in the same phase too, right? We are, whether you think of it as like stereotypical or, or different or whatever, but a lot of visionaries are portrayed a very specific way, right? They're crazy and chaotic, and they cause, chaos and all of these things. And what I started to really honestly doubt, Nicole, like, I don't know if I am a visionary, because I mean, I'm much more methodical, right? And my integrator brain kicks in when I'm a visionary, right? And so, I constantly have this voice in the back of my head that is saying, be a good visionary, right? Don't do the things that aggravate the integrator.
Yeah.
And so having women who are all going through that same experience too is so powerful, because again, I don't feel alone in this part of my journey, that I want to have a conscious awareness of not doing end runs and going around Haley, or, stepping on her into her accountability box, and, trying to do the things that she is responsible for. This group allows me to see, hey, it's okay. Like, it happens. We all accidentally do it, but it's how you respond to that.
Yeah.
And stepping back and, being able to see, it's just habit. I've been doing this for 18 to 20 years, and I'm not intentionally trying to step back in your box. But they give me permission, right? They give me permission to be myself. They give me permission to dream even bigger. And they hold that mirror up for me to really reflect on the things that I preach and teach and coach on.
Oh my gosh, flew by. We've been chatting here for 20 minutes. I have a question for you, because this is all about being in a season, right? And so you've continued to evolve in your role, and I have these beautiful cards here in front of me. If someone does not, how does one get these affirmation cards? I love that. But I am right now in the season of my life, I am focusing on being vibrant.
Oh,
That's been on the top of my list. Being in, as you're talking about the growth of HERverse and all the things that you are doing as as you evolve into the visionary seat, what are your current I ams?
Oh, I love that. So for me, the biggest one that I am really focused on is I am bold, right? And that means something different for me than, just the definition of bold. For me, it means that I am bold enough to be the person who needs to say the things that need to be said, right? When everybody else is trying to be quiet, that, hey, like this is something that we need to talk about. So being that bold person that has the conversations, that brings up the questions, but it also means standing up for myself. And that's kind of a phase or a season that I have been in, where, for so many years, for so long, people would say to me, Kristie, are you sure that's the right space for you? Are you sure, that HERverse is going to do, the big things that you have? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I believe the things that we are coaching on. I believe the things that we are doing with HERverse, bringing women together. I believe in the power of women. Women are powerful leaders. We are strong and courageous. And so, yes, being bold for me means a lot. But one other thing for me is being bold means to be standing up for people who don't necessarily either have the courage to stand up for themselves, or who cannot stand up for themselves. So whether that is, witnessing something in public that I just will not stand for that any longer. Even animals, I have such a heart for animals, and I will not stand for an animal being neglected or being abused. So being bold is a real season for me right now, of boldly standing into my own growth and my own visionary role, but also standing up for those who don't necessarily stand up for themselves.
That's beautiful. You are beautiful. Everything about you. Well, I know that I get to be your interview, and you ask all of to wrap up your interviews, you ask this question to all of the people you have on. So I'm going to do the same to you. I know that to honor, to empower, and to inspire means a great deal. And you ask the people that you have, that you interview, who do you honor from a past generation? Who do you want to empower from a current generation? And who do you want to inspire for a future generation, or honored, empowered, and inspired by? So tell me your three.
Oh, I love that. So I think everybody knows that if you've known me for more than 5 minutes, you know, one of my biggest honors is my grandmother, my Mimi. She means everything to me, but I honor her in so many ways. But I want to honor a group that is a little bit different than my Mimi. And I think she actually may be a member of this. But there are so many people of past generations that were not honored, who were not lifted up for their strength, for their courage, for their bravery. And one group that is coming to mind for me is visionary women who did so many things in past generations that, you know, they either had to tell their husband and now their husband got credit for it, or they were authors and they had to write under, you know, anonymous names. And I want to just take a moment to just honor those women who did not get recognized for their contributions. They did not get to, you know, have bold voices that would be able to share. And just knowing that the world that we live in today as women leaders is a foundation of what they started. You know, their beautiful bravery of writing, of creating. We are where we are today because of them. So I want to honor all visionary women of the past who did not get that recognition. Jill Young did that for us at our retreat here this last week. And that has been something so top of mind for me this last few days and weeks. So I really want to just honor them. Empower, I have to say, for me, empowering women of a current generation, it really truly is the women of HERverse that comes to mind. They empower me, and their encouragement, their positive, you know, comments that they make and stories that they share. It just empowers me to know that we are on the right path. We're doing the right thing. And knowing that we are really, truly giving back to this community of women just means so much to me. So not only do they empower me, but I hope that in response, you know, creating space and community, that we get to empower them as well. Mm-hmm. And future generation is such an important piece of everything for me. So the women that I hope to inspire is my nieces. I have amazing nieces, some that have just graduated high school and others that are going to be getting kindergarten next year. I can't believe that. They're such strong, bold women, and they're full of courage and curiosity, and man, the future is bright for them. And I'm just so excited for them to step into their most, whatever that is for them. And I hope that they always know that Aunt Kissy loves them, and that if I can do it, they can too.
Oh, I love that. Oh, well, you nailed it. We didn't even make it that weird, right? I like to do. This was so much fun. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this and do this with you.
Oh, well, thank you for flipping the mic on me. It's always fun when I get to spend time with you. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of ConvHERsations with Kristie. I hope you're walking away with a few nuggets of inspiration, maybe a new perspective, or just a reminder that you're not alone in your leadership journey. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, drop us a comment, or tag us with your favorite takeaway. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep leading with heart, and keep building the kind of life and leadership that feels true to you. I'll see you in the next ConvHERsation.